on the line today is Brian Stacy, who's a senior system consultant with RightStar. So, Brian, let's go ahead and get moving. I'm going to open things up with just one slide about RightStar, because a lot of you out there probably are wondering, who is RightStar and what do you guys do? Well, RightStar is an ITSM consultancy, and we happen to be a BMC solution provider. So if you're familiar with Trackit or some of these other products that BMC has, Footprints is what you're going to be learning about today. We've worked and have a very close relationship with BMC really across all the different market segments. We also support all the different BMC products, so there's more than just service desk. There's also service automation and service assurance, and our mission is really very simple: to be your trusted advisor in the ITSM space. So today we're going to run probably a good part of the hour. I think we'll save a little bit of time for questions. As you all know, there'll be a demonstration after a short presentation. I do want to let you all know that we will be recording this, and that if you have any questions, please make sure to use the chat window. There's a Q&A window. You can use the chat, but we might not answer that one. But there's a Q&A box that should pop up when in the right-hand corner. You can submit a question, and we'll save those for the end. So I'm going to go ahead and turn things over now to Brian Stacy. So, Brian, take it away.
Great. Thank you very much, Dick. Hello, everyone. I'm Brian Stacy. I'm, as Dick said, a senior consultant here. I'll just give you a real quick background. I've been working with Footprints. It's a BMC product, as you know. I've been working with it for at least 8 or 9 years. I actually worked with both BMC previously and Numara, which was the company that BMC acquired the Footprints product with. And so I have a lot of experience as a consultant with Footprints with customers. And so I noticed a number of you are using Trackit, which is, some people, we used to call it Footprints' little brother, but both Trackit and Footprints came from the company Numara when they were acquired by BMC. They're now both BMC products. So let me tell you a little bit about Footprints, sometimes referred to as Footprints Service Core, and the reason it has Service Core in the name is because they created another product, gave it the Footprints name as part of the Footprints family. So they had a couple products in the family, and what we used to call just Footprints is sometimes referred to as Footprints Service Core. Well, what is it? It's, I guess most people think of it as a ticketing system or a service desk. And a service desk being where you take calls and resolve people's problems or incidents, and, of course, take in requests for things to fulfill those requests, what we call request fulfillment in ITIL. But Footprints is actually much more than that. Footprints is made up of multiple what we call workspaces, and those each workspace could be a separate application. So you could have an IT service desk workspace. You could also have a facilities workspace where the people that are handling facilities are operating completely independently. So even though you only install Footprints one time, you may actually be using it as multiple different applications. And that's one of the reasons we wanted to talk to some of you out there about tribal government, is because we have some experience working with some tribes where they have identified a number of systems they need for, and I'll show you some examples of those in a few minutes, of different departments or groups within the tribe, and they use one product, just Footprints, to handle each of those ticketing systems or knowledge-based systems or whatever the requirement is for that system. But those we handle in what we call workspaces. So you can install Footprints one time and set up as many workspaces or applications as you need. The great thing about Footprints is highly configurable. The new version 12 is very extensible as well. And when I say highly configurable, you can really think of it as an application tool where you application development tool where you're developing applications without doing any programming. It's all just online configuration settings. It's also, when I say online, it's completely browser-based. So you can access it either whether as an administrator or as an end user or as an agent that's being assigned tickets, completely with browsers. It supports all the major browsers. And when I say browsers, it also includes mobile browsers. So a lot of people are now utilizing smartphones and tablets and so forth to access, as we say, from anywhere. So it started off as an IT service management tool where you're doing in some of the IT service management things like incident management, change management, and those things, but it's really so much more. You can really, as I said, automate any business process, including non-IT processes. And since I've been utilizing Footprints and helping customers design systems in it for so many years, we've done such diverse things as create travel tracking request systems for Department of Defense, and we've done for New York banks. We've actually done systems where the branches of the bank put in requests for centralized branch issues that they may have. I mean, just all kinds of different applications. And we'll talk about some, and I'll give you some samples in a minute of some that correspond to specifically to tribes. Some of the key features in Footprint Service Core, it has a self-service feature. It means the customers can directly access the information. In addition to self-service, it's very email capable. It's got you can do a lot of it with in and out email, but it's got a full online browser-based self-service for your customers. You can integrate it with other databases. So if you have other stores of data or information that's important to develop a specific application that's maybe a non-IT based application, we can integrate to pretty much any ODBC compliant database. We can also integrate with various asset discovery systems. There's one I'll actually show the integration. It's BMC's Client Manager, which used to be called Footprints Asset Core, by the way, but I'll show that integration. You can set up multiple internal knowledge bases where you can store, information that may be procedures and so forth, or as we like to say, solution articles in IT. But you can store pretty much any information and make that accessible to anybody in the nation. When I say in the nation, in the tribal nation, or any of your other customers. On-premise, it's primarily sold by BMC as an on-premise. That means you install it on your servers. And, of course, we at RightStar, being a consultancy company, we're happy to come in and help design the system and get you up and running. We also at RightStar will and can host the system as well. And it runs on Windows servers and Linux servers. Here's some examples of some of the tribal government systems that we've looked at doing or generally have done for some tribes. But tribes that I personally have worked with include the Seminoles, the Seneca, and the Potawatomi. And so on the list, I won't go through each of these, but land management issues and tracking those issues for land management, council requests that are coming into maybe the tribal council, healthcare, if you have your own healthcare or education request, or just some cases, Footprints is actually used to schedule those appointments. Facilities, as I mentioned earlier, that's done very often. This is an interesting one, doing asset management, so you can store the assets, in this case maybe police, if you have your own police force, police assets, or any other assets you may have, maybe all the tribe's assets. And then, as I mentioned, something called a knowledge base. You could have a storehouse, so maybe policies or procedures or any other information could be accessible to anybody that has a customer ID. What does BMC Footprints include? Now, this is a very IT-centric screen slide. It shows those ITIL-based processes like incident management and problem management and change management and configuration management, and that's the CMDB, Configuration Management Database. All of this is built into Footprints. We can do these things pretty much out of the box. Service requests, of course. By the way, Footprints has been Pink Elephant verified. So it says ITIL Pink verified. That's the company Pink Elephant that verifies that we can indeed do these ITIL processes that we say that we can do. The bottom row includes basically, as it says, a platform for process automation, and that's where you can get outside of the box and not do just ITIL or IT processes. And I mentioned it's got a self-service, it's got a knowledge base for knowledge management, and then it also keeps track of SLA, service level management, for any of the incidents or requests that you're fulfilling. And then in mobility, as I mentioned, we support browsers that are running on whether it's on smartphones or tablets or pretty much any kind of browser. You can take Footprints on the go with you, so to speak. And then there's reporting and analytics, so you can do full reporting, and I'll show you some limited reporting that I've set up here in the demo. All right, so we're going to jump into a live demonstration, and then after that, we should have plenty of time for an open forum for your questions. As Dick said, you can go ahead and submit those online, or hold on, and I think there's a way to raise your hand as well at the end. So let me switch gears here a minute and get into my demo system. All right, you should be seeing, this is Internet Explorer. I'm going to operate in two different browsers. I've got one thing going on in Internet Explorer, and then I'll switch over to Chrome to do some of the other things. The Footprints is divided, so to speak, into two types of users. We have what we call customer users, and we have agent users. The customers are anybody out there that needs a service, whether they are submitting a ticket and that ticket can be any kind of ticket, but what I'm going to show you is going to be pretty IT-centric. Again, we could design a system to do non-IT business processes, but in this case, the customer is logged in, and the customer is Bubba Smith. I used to live in Texas for a long time. I know a lot of Bubbas, so we've got Bubba Smith as our fictitious customer here. He's logged in. He gets a simple customer console. There's some more things he could do. This new version of Footprints, version 12, is very tab-oriented, so you'll see a lot of tabs. So within the customer console, we have a couple tabs. We have first a tab that just shows the list of the incidents and service requests that Bubba's put in, and in some cases a few others that are not Bubba's. And in one case, Bubba's filled out a survey. So Bubba's seen some incidents in a survey. This one incident says subscribe. We'll talk about that in a minute. That's not Bubba's. And then Bubba's also got two other tabs. There's a service request browser. So if Bubba says there's something I need that I don't have, I need to, what in ITIL we call the service catalog, go to the service catalog, we can come over here, and here we've got a graphical icons of different areas of things that Bubba could request. And in IT, those types of requests are generally grouped into three different areas: access to systems that are running on servers, or new hardware, or new software.